By this time tomorrow, she won't have a daughter anymore. I stopped breathing. I was standing barefoot in the hallway, just outside my sister's door, in the house I had just sold. My house, the one I gave up to save her. My daughter was asleep 10 steps away, and Melissa was inside, whispering into her phone like I didn't exist. I'm Corrine. I trusted her. I believed her when she said she was dying, that I was the only one who could help. I gave her everything. My home, my savings, everything my daughter and I had. And now I was hearing her plan something about my child. Then her voice dropped, colder than I'd ever heard it. The paperwork's ready. Once he's out, she stays with me. Before I could move, a floorboard creaked behind me. Before we continue with this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for updates. I turned slowly. No one was there, just darkness stretching down the hallway toward the living room, and the faint hum of the refrigerator from the kitchen. For a second I thought maybe I imagined it, but my chest was still tight, my ears still ringing from what I'd just heard. Inside the room, Melissa kept talking like nothing happened. "She trusts me," she whispered. "He always has." Something in the way she said it made my stomach twist. Not grateful, not emotional, just certain. I stayed frozen, barely breathing, trying to catch every word without giving myself away. "I told you the timing had to be right. Selling the house was the last step. Now there's proof he can't provide stability." My hand tightened against the wall. Proof? She wasn't talking about a mistake. She wasn't panicking or confused. This sounded planned. Carefully planned. I glanced down the hallway toward Lily's room. Her door was slightly open, just how she liked it. A soft glow from her nightlight spilled into the carpet. She was still asleep, safe, for now. But for how long? Back in the room, Melissa let out a quiet breath, almost like relief. Tomorrow morning, it's done. He won't even see it coming. My heart started pounding so hard I was sure she could hear it through the door. Tomorrow? What happens tomorrow? I leaned in just a little closer, trying to hear more, anything that could explain what she meant, what she was planning, why my daughter was suddenly part of it. Then the floor creaked again, this time louder. Melissa's voice stopped. Complete silence filled the room. And then her bedroom door handle slowly started to turn. The door snapped open before I could step back. Melissa stood there, phone still in her hand, her eyes locking onto mine instantly. No surprise, no panic, just a quick, sharp calculation, like she was trying to figure out how much I'd heard. "How long have you been standing there?" she asked, her voice low. "I couldn't sleep, heard you talking." She watched me for a second longer, then gave a small shrug, like it didn't matter. "Just handling some things, medical stuff." Medical. The word hung there, heavy and hollow. I nodded slowly, even though nothing about this felt right. At 2 a.m.? She didn't answer that. Instead, she stepped past me into the hallway, glancing briefly toward Lily's room before lowering her voice again. "You should get some rest. Big day tomorrow." Big day. The way she said it sent a chill through me. "What's tomorrow?" I asked. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Just appointments, follow-ups, nothing you need to worry about." Then she walked past me like the conversation was over. I stood there, listening to her footsteps fade, my mind racing. Nothing you need to worry about. But everything about this felt like something I should be worried about. I went back to the couch I'd been sleeping on, the same living room where Lily used to do her homework, where we used to watch movies together before all of this, before I sold it, before I handed everything over. Melissa's words kept replaying in my head. "She trusts me. Selling the house was the last step. Tomorrow, it's done. That wasn't about surgery. That wasn't about being sick. That was something else. Something planned. And somehow, it involved my daughter. I turned my head toward the hallway again, staring into the darkness. For the first time since she called me crying weeks ago, I started to wonder if any of it was real, and if it wasn't, what exactly had I just given up everything for? I didn't sleep, not even for a minute. The second I heard the front door close the next morning, Melissa leaving for one of her appointments, I moved. Fast. Quiet. Like I was doing something wrong in my own home. Her room still smelled of perfume and something sharp, unfamiliar. Nothing about it felt like a place someone recovering from surgery would stay. No medication bottles, no discharge papers, no signs of anything medical at all. I went straight to the bed. For a second, I hesitated. Then I lifted the mattress. There it was, a thick folder tucked flat against the frame. My hands were already shaking when I pulled it out. The first page hit me like a punch to the chest. Petition for emergency custody. Lily's name, right at the top. I flipped through it, faster now, my breathing getting heavier with every page. Statements, reports, dates. Every single line painted the same picture. That I was unstable, that I had no permanent home, that I had put my daughter in an unsafe environment. My vision blurred for a second, because every one of those claims traced back to one thing: selling the house. I kept reading. There were attachments. A neighbor's statement, someone claiming they'd noticed changes in Lily's routine, a note from her school about recent instability, even a written concern about her living situation. This wasn't thrown together overnight. This was built, carefully, piece by piece. And then I saw the last page, a printed confirmation, emergency custody hearing, 9 a.m. tomorrow. My grip tightened on the paper. Tomorrow morning. She wasn't just planning something. She was about to take my daughter, legally. And I was never supposed to know. I didn't wait. That night, the second Melissa walked back in, I was already standing in the kitchen, folder in my hand, every page marked, every lie burned into my memory. She stopped when she saw me. For a split second, something flickered across her face. Then it was gone. "You went through my things," she said calmly, setting her bag down like this was nothing. I dropped the folder on the table between us. "You're trying to take my daughter." No denial this time. Just silence. Then she pulled out a chair and sat down, like we were about to have a normal conversation. "You weren't supposed to find out like this," she said. My chest tightened. "So it's true?" She sighed, like I was the one making this difficult. "Daniel, look at your situation. You sold your house. You've got no stability right now. Lily needs consistency." "You caused that," I snapped. "You begged me to sell it. You said you were dying." Her expression didn't change. "I said I needed help, and you gave it. But let's not pretend this didn't expose something." "Expose what?" "That you can't provide what she needs long term." The words hit harder than I expected, like she'd been rehearsing them, like this wasn't about concern, it was about control. "You built this," I said, my voice shaking. "All of it. The timing, the house, the story. I'm fixing it," she cut in, sharper now. "I'm giving her a stable environment, a real home." A real home. In the house I sold. The realization landed heavy. This was never about helping her. It was about replacing me. From the hallway, a small voice broke through the tension. "Dad?" I turned. Lily stood there, clutching the edge of the wall, her eyes wide, confused. Melissa stood slowly, her tones soft, almost practiced. "Hey, sweetheart, we're just talking." I stepped in front of Lily, pulling her close. "Tomorrow," Melissa said quietly, watching us, "a judge decides where she belongs." And for the first time, I wasn't sure what that answer would be. I didn't argue with her again that night. I couldn't afford to. The second Lily was back in her room, I grabbed my phone and stepped outside. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped it dialing. "I need a lawyer," I said the moment someone picked up. "Tonight." By morning, I wasn't walking into that courtroom blind. I had the folder, copies of every document Melissa hid, messages she sent that didn't line up with her story, and most importantly, proof that her emergency surgery didn't exist. No hospital records, no scheduled procedure, nothing. It unraveled fast once it started. In court, Melissa sat straight, calm, like she had already won. She repeated everything written in those documents: unstable housing, emotional strain, concern for Lily's well-being. Then my lawyer spoke, and piece by piece, it fell apart. The judge's expression changed first, then the questions started. About the surgery, about the urgency, about the timing of the house sale. Melissa hesitated, for the first time, just a second too long. By the time it was over, the entire story she built had collapsed under its own weight. The custody petition was dismissed on the spot. But it didn't end there. The judge ordered further review into her claims: fraud, misrepresentation, manipulation. Melissa didn't look at me when we walked out. She couldn't. Weeks later, Lily and I moved to a small apartment across town. It wasn't much, boxes still stacked in corners, mattress on the floor, but it was ours. One night, Lily looked up at me from the couch. "Are we staying here now?" I nodded. "Yeah, we are." She leaned into me quiet for a moment. "Okay," she said softly. And that was it. I lost my house. I lost my sister. But I didn't lose my daughter. And that's the only thing that mattered.